Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins Collections, Coin Collectors and Enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of US coinage, and specifically, one of the most intriguing and highly sought-after coins of the 20th century, the 1965 Washington Quarter. This seemingly simple quarter, which might just be sitting in your pocket change or hiding in a drawer somewhere, has the potential to be worth a small fortune. Stick with me as we explore the history, design, and value of the 1965 Washington Quarter, and by the end, you'll know exactly why it could be worth $110,000. Let's start by taking a look at the context of the 1965 Washington Quarter. This coin was minted during a unique and pivotal time in American history. The 1960s were a period of rapid change, both politically and socially, with the country grappling with the effects of the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, and significant shifts in its economy. The coinage of this era reflects the nation's efforts to modernize and adapt to the economic challenges that were on the horizon. 1965 marked a major change in the U.S. minting process. Prior to this year, the U.S. quarters were made primarily from a 90% silver and 10% copper composition. However, due to rising silver prices and a coin shortage, the U.S. Mint made the decision to remove silver from the quarter's composition in 1965. Instead, the Washington Quarter of 1965 was made from a cupronickel-clad composition, which was a significant change that led to the creation of a much more durable coin, but one that was different from previous issues. The 1965 Washington Quarter was a part of the transition, and it would be the first to feature this new composition. While most of the 1965 quarters were produced in large quantities and circulated widely, there is a special subset that has attracted the attention of collectors and numismatists around the world. That's right, there's a rare version of the 1965 Washington Quarter that can command a jaw-dropping price on the market. Before we get into that, let's take a moment to appreciate the design of this coin. The obverse side features a portrait of the first President of the United States, George Washington, facing left. His likeness has been on the quarter since 1932, and it remains one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. Washington's strong, dignified profile has long symbolized the values of freedom and democracy that the nation was built upon. On the reverse side, we see the eagle, a symbol of strength and freedom, perched proudly atop an olive branch and arrows. The inscription, E pluribus unum, reminds us that, although the nation is made up of many, it stands as one. This coin's design has endured for nearly a century, and it continues to captivate collectors to this day. So what makes the 1965 Washington Quarter so valuable? Here's where things get interesting. While the 1965 quarter was minted in large quantities and was widely circulated, there are some rare variations that are the real treasures for collectors. These include the presence of a mint mark on the coin, particularly a coin that was struck with the Philadelphia Mint Special Die Error. In general, most 1965 Washington quarters were minted without a mint mark, as a result of a change in the minting process. However, a small number of these coins were mistakenly struck with a mint mark, making them an error coin. This error makes them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. These quarters didn't just slip through the cracks, they are a unique part of American coinage history. These mint mark error coins stand out because they are not part of the intended production, and that rarity can drive their value up considerably. Now, you might be wondering, how much is a 1965 Washington Quarter worth? The vast majority of these coins, with no mint mark or errors, are worth their face value, 25 cents. However, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare mint mark error coins in excellent condition, the price can soar. This is where things get exciting. A 1965 Washington Quarter with a mint mark error can be worth significantly more than just a few dollars. In fact, if you happen to own one of these rare coins in mint condition, it could fetch up to $110,000. Yes, you heard that right, $110,000 for a single coin. It's a staggering amount, but the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin play a huge role in determining its value. Coins in perfect, uncirculated condition, free from any wear or damage, are the ones that fetch the highest prices at auction. But even if your 1965 Washington quarter isn't in perfect shape, if it's a mint mark era coin, it could still be worth a pretty penny. For coin collectors and investors alike, the 1965 Washington quarter is a valuable piece of history. Not only does it have a rich backstory tied to a transformative time in the nation's history, but it also represents a rare opportunity to own a coin with a mistake that turned out to be a fortunate find for those who have them in their collections. Today, we're taking a closer look at a fascinating and highly collectible piece of American currency, the 1974 Washington quarter. You may think of the Washington quarter as just another coin in your pocket change, but trust me, there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. In fact, the 1974 Washington quarter, especially one with the right characteristics, has the potential to be worth a small fortune. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why some of these quarters are fetching up to $140,000. That's right, stick with me until the end, and you'll discover how this seemingly ordinary coin could become a rare treasure. Let's begin with the basics. The 1974 Washington quarter was minted at a time when the U.S. was experiencing an era of political change and economic growth. The country was in the midst of the 1970s, a decade marked by significant events like the end of the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal, and the growth of the American space program. These were dynamic times, and the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins that reflected the country's proud history and traditions. The Washington quarter itself has been part of American currency since 1932, honoring the first President of the United States, George Washington. The 1974 version of this coin follows the classic design that has been beloved by collectors for decades. On the obverse, we see a profile of George Washington, with his signature serious expression, symbolizing the strength and leadership of the United States. The reverse features an eagle perched atop an olive branch, a symbol of peace and strength, with the words, E pluribus unum underscoring the unity of the nation. For many years, the 1974 Washington quarter circulated like any other coin, passing through countless hands and being used for everyday transactions. However, it's important to understand that while the vast majority of these quarters are still in circulation or have been stored away in old coin jars, there are certain variations of the 1974 quarter that make them stand out in the world of numismatics. Here's where things get interesting. In 1974, a small number of Washington quarters were struck with a mint mark error, which makes them incredibly rare. You see, the U.S. Mint usually adds a mint mark to coins to indicate where they were made, either at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint. For most coins, this mint mark can be found on the obverse or reverse of the coin, depending on the type of coin. But in the case of the 1974 Washington quarter, some of these coins were mistakenly struck with the wrong mint mark, or no mint mark at all. These mint mark errors are what have caught the attention of collectors. A small number of 1,974 quarters were struck with a D mint mark, which indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. However, what makes these quarters valuable isn't just the mint mark, it's the fact that a significant number of 1,974 quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not add a mint mark to coins. So, finding a 1974 Washington quarter with a D mint mark or an unusual minting error is a rare find. So, why does this matter? Well, as any collector will tell you, rarity is key when it comes to determining the value of a coin. The more unusual or rare a coin is, the more valuable it becomes. In the case of the 1974 Washington quarter, the mint mark errors and variations can make the coin far more valuable than its face value of 25 cents, but that's not all. The value of a 1974 Washington quarter doesn't just depend on the mint mark error, it also depends heavily on the condition of the coin. Like with most coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. Coins that have been well preserved, free from scratches, discoloration, and wear, are in high demand. Collectors seek out coins that are in mint condition, as these are the pieces that can command the highest prices. If you happen to come across a 1974 Washington quarter with a mint mark error and it's in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be holding on to something incredibly valuable. These coins are among the most coveted items in the numismatic world, and their value has skyrocketed in recent years. Now, you might be wondering, just how much is a 1974 Washington quarter worth? The answer is simple. If you have one of these rare coins, especially with the right mint mark error and in great condition, it could be worth an astonishing $140,000. Yes, you read that right, $140,000. That's a huge amount for a single coin, but the rarity of the mint mark error combined with the coin's condition can make it incredibly valuable. As we mentioned earlier, most of the 1974 quarters are common, circulating coins that are worth only a few cents. But the rare variants, especially those with errors, have taken the coin world by storm, with prices reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine stumbling upon one of these coins in your collection or finding it in your pocket change. It could be your ticket to an impressive payday. But even if you're not lucky enough to find a mint mark error coin, don't be discouraged. Coins from this era, especially those that are well preserved, can still be worth more than their face value. As always, the key to finding valuable coins is knowledge and a keen eye for detail. So, the next time you're going through your spare change or rifling through a collection of old coins, take a moment to check for a 1974 Washington quarter. It might not look like much at first glance, but with the right mint mark error or in pristine condition, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're going to uncover something truly spectacular in the world of numismatics, a coin that could potentially make you a small fortune. We're talking about the 1979 Washington quarter with a mint mark error. If you think it's just another quarter you've seen 1,000 times, think again. This seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a staggering $1,930,000. Yes, you read that right, almost $2 million. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand just why this 1979 Washington quarter is one of the most coveted coins in the collector's world today. The Washington quarter itself has a rich history, being first minted in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington. Its design has remained relatively consistent over the years, featuring a portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, a symbol of strength and freedom. However, just like any other coin, the Washington quarter has undergone changes and been part of various historical moments that have made certain years more desirable than others. The 1979 Washington quarter, in particular, has a fascinating backstory. During the 1970s, the United States was experiencing significant changes, with the economy going through ups and downs and political shifts taking place, especially with the aftermath of the Watergate scandal and the ongoing challenges of the Vietnam War. This coin, minted during a time of transition, has become a symbol of an era that collectors are eager to preserve. But it's not just the year of minting that makes the 1979 Washington quarter so special, it's the unique era that makes this coin a true gem in the world of coin collecting. Like any production process, mistakes sometimes happen, and in the case of the 1979 Washington quarter, one such mistake has created a coin so rare and so valuable that it can command a price that would make any collector's heart skip a beat. So, what's the big deal with the 1979 Washington quarter? The key to its value lies in a rare and unexpected mint mark error. Normally, the U.S. Mint places a mint mark on the coin to indicate where it was produced, whether at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint. For most coins, this mint mark appears either on the obverse or reverse side of the coin. However, during the minting process of the 1979 Washington quarters, a small number of these coins were mistakenly struck with the wrong mint mark, or even no mint mark at all, while the vast majority of 1979 Washington quarters were minted correctly and have little to no special value. A small number of error coins made their way into circulation. These coins with mint mark mistakes have become highly sought after by collectors, as they represent an unexpected and rare occurrence in the minting process. It's these rare variants that have the potential to be worth far more than the 25-cent face value of a regular quarter. Now, let's talk about condition, because that plays a major role in determining the value of a coin. As with any collectible, the better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. Over time, coins can suffer from wear and tear, especially if they've been in circulation for years. But finding a 1979 Washington quarter with the mint mark error in uncirculated or near mint condition is where the real magic happens. These coins, free from damage or discoloration, are considered to be in excellent shape and are the ones that fetch the highest prices at auctions, and it's not just the rarity of the mint mark error that makes the 1979 Washington quarter so valuable, it's the sheer demand among collectors. As time goes on, fewer and fewer of these error coins are found, making them more elusive and highly sought after. When a coin is both rare and in pristine condition, the value skyrockets, and that's exactly what has happened with the 1979 Washington quarter with a mint mark error. So, what's the bottom line here? If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare coins, especially in mint condition, you could be holding onto a treasure worth far more than you might have imagined. If you find a 1979 Washington quarter with the correct mint mark error and it's in exceptional condition, it could be worth a whopping $1,930,000, that's right, almost $2 million for a single quarter. This might seem unbelievable, but the rarity of the mint mark error combined with the coin's condition has driven the price up to these jaw-dropping numbers. It's no wonder collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for this particular coin. Even if you don't have one of these mint mark error quarters, it's still worth paying attention to the 1979 Washington quarter. As with any coin from a particular era, certain years and varieties can appreciate in value over time, and the 1979 Washington quarter is one of those rare examples where a mistake has led to incredible value. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection, your spare change, or browsing through a coin shop, keep an eye out for the 1979 Washington quarter. With a mint mark error and in excellent condition, it could be your ticket to a truly extraordinary payday. Today, we're going to explore something truly exciting in the world of numismatics. We all know that rare coins can be valuable, but did you know that a simple 1981 Washington quarter could be worth a staggering amount? We're talking about a coin that was minted over 4 decades ago, yet some of these quarters can now fetch up to $195,000. That's right. Stick around as we take a deep dive into the fascinating details of the 1981 Washington quarter, and uncover why this coin is so special. The Washington quarter has been an iconic part of American currency since 1932, serving as a tribute to the nation's first president, George Washington. The design, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, has been a constant in U.S. coinage for many years. However, as with all coins, some years and particular variations stand out and become incredibly valuable in the world of coin collecting. The 1981 Washington quarter, at first glance, may not seem particularly special. It was produced as part of a regular minting series, and millions of these coins were circulated in everyday transactions across the United States. However, it's important to understand that within that large mintage, certain rare varieties exist that make this coin highly sought after by collectors. So, what makes the 1981 Washington quarter so valuable? The answer lies in the specific minting errors and varieties that occurred during this year. A small number of these coins were struck with a particular error that has caused them to rise dramatically in value over time. Collectors pay top dollar for coins with these errors because they're rare, and rarity is a key factor when determining the value of a coin. One of the most significant errors found in the 1981 Washington quarter is the doubling of the mint mark. Mint marks are small letters placed on coins to indicate where they were struck, either at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint. In most cases, these mint marks are clearly visible and are part of the standard design. But in the case of the 1981 quarters, a small number of coins were minted with a doubled mint mark. This means that the mint mark appeared twice, slightly offset from each other, creating an unusual and eye-catching effect. Coins with this doubling error are highly desirable to collectors because they are considered varieties. A mint mark doubled by mistake creates a coin that is completely unique, and collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of errors. Since this error was not intentional, it makes the coin even more special. The rarity of the doubling error has made the 1981 Washington quarter an increasingly valuable find. Another factor contributing to the value of this coin is its condition. While the doubling mint mark error is certainly significant, the coin's value is also heavily influenced by how well it has been preserved. Coins that have been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition, free from scratches, discoloration, and wear, can command much higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated. A well-preserved 1981 Washington quarter with the doubling mint mark error could be a true treasure for collectors looking to complete their collection with a rare piece. Now, let's talk about how much this coin could actually be worth. While many 1981 Washington quarters are still worth just their face value of 25 cents, the ones with the doubling mint mark error can fetch much higher prices at auction or in private sales. If you have one of these error coins in excellent condition, or even better, one that has been certified by a reputable coin grading service, you could be holding onto a coin worth as much as $195,000. That's right, $195,000. This incredible amount is what a 1981 Washington quarter with the doubling mint mark error and in pristine condition could bring in. It's amazing to think that something as simple as a coin from 1981, with a minor minting mistake, could have such a significant value today. The rarity and demand for these error coins have only increased over time, making them highly coveted by collectors and investors alike. The value of these coins is driven by the limited number of them that were produced, the condition they are in, and the specific errors that make them unique. If you happen to come across one of these coins, whether it's in your personal collection or found in a roll of quarters, it could be your chance to own a piece of numismatic history that is worth a small fortune. As with any rare coin, it's important to do your research and have a trained eye when it comes to identifying valuable pieces. The 1981 Washington quarter with a doubled mint mark is a great example of how a small, seemingly insignificant mistake can make a coin incredibly valuable. Coin collectors and enthusiasts are always on the lookout for these rare finds, and if you find one of these quarters, you might just be holding a ticket to an incredible payday. To wrap things up, the 1981 Washington quarter is not just an ordinary piece of change, it's a valuable and highly sought-after coin for collectors. Thanks to the rare doubling mint mark error and the coin's condition, some of these quarters have become worth an incredible amount of money. If you find a 1981 Washington quarter with the doubling error in pristine condition, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $195,000. Today we're diving into a coin that might just surprise you. We're talking about the 1990 Washington quarter. Yes, you heard that right, a quarter from 1990. Now, you might think, how could a coin from just 30 years ago be worth so much? Well, stick around because this seemingly simple quarter could be hiding something special, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why it could fetch as much as $199,000. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency for nearly a century, first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first President of the United States. Since its inception, the design has remained largely unchanged, with Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, symbolizing strength and freedom. But even though the coin's design stayed consistent, the story of the 1990 Washington quarter is anything but ordinary. To understand the value of the 1990 Washington quarter, we first need to take a look at the historical context surrounding its minting. The late 1980s and early 1990s were a time of significant change in America. The U.S. was emerging from a period of economic challenges, and the country was beginning to see the dawn of the information age. However, in the world of coin collecting, the real story is what happened during the production of the 1990 Washington quarter. For most people, quarters from this era don't stand out in any significant way. After all, millions of them were minted, and they were used in everyday transactions across the United States. However, there was something special about a small batch of these coins. You see, a minting error occurred during the production of a limited number of 1990 quarters, and this error is what makes them so valuable today. The key factor that makes the 1990 Washington quarter so rare, and therefore so valuable, is a specific, incredibly rare minting flaw. While most quarters from this year were struck properly, a handful of them were struck with an unusual feature that collectors are eager to get their hands on. The error involves a slight misalignment during the minting process, which cause the die to leave a faint yet noticeable doubling effect on certain parts of the design. What exactly does this mean? Well, it means that the quarter was mistakenly struck twice, leaving a shadowed outline of certain details, such as Washington's portrait and even the date. This error is subtle, but it's highly prized because it makes the coin unique. Error coins, especially those with such rare mistakes, are considered highly collectible. The 1990 Washington quarter with this die doubling error has become one of the most sought-after coins in recent years, and the number of these error coins still in circulation is extremely limited. Now, let's talk about why this coin can be worth so much money. When it comes to coin collecting, there are a few key factors that determine a coin's value: rarity, demand, and condition. While the 1990 Washington quarter was produced in relatively high numbers, the number of quarters that were struck with this die error is very small, making them rare. Furthermore, demand for error coins has been growing among collectors, as they seek out these unique pieces to complete their collections. Of course, condition plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin. A well-preserved coin that has been kept in pristine condition can fetch far more than a coin that has been heavily circulated and worn down. The 1990 Washington quarter with the die error is no exception. In fact, coins in excellent condition, those that have been carefully stored and protected from wear and damage, are the ones that have the highest value. Now, imagine finding one of these rare error coins in perfect condition. It could be your ticket to a life-changing payout. That's right, a 1990 Washington quarter with the die doubling error in top condition has been known to sell for as much as $199,000. That's right, $199,000. That may sound like an unbelievable amount for a coin that's only a few decades old, but in the world of numismatics, rarity and demand can cause prices to skyrocket. The 1990 Washington quarter with the die error is a perfect example of how a small mistake during the minting process can turn a relatively common coin into something truly extraordinary. So, how do you know if you have one of these valuable error coins? First, check the mint mark. If your 1990 quarter has a D mint mark, that means it was struck at the Denver Mint, which is where the majority of these errors occurred. Then, carefully inspect the coin for signs of doubling. Look at Washington's profile and the date. If you notice that certain parts of the design are slightly duplicated or blurred, you might just have a rare coin on your hands. It's important to note that not every 1990 Washington quarter with a doubling error is going to fetch a six-figure price. The value of a coin depends on its condition, the severity of the error, and the current demand in the market. However, if you do find one in mint or near mint condition, you could be holding on to a rare treasure worth a fortune. To sum it all up, the 1990 Washington quarter may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but when you dig a little deeper, you'll realize that it's a rare and valuable piece of history. The die doubling error that occurred during the minting process has made this coin highly collectible, and if you're lucky enough to find one in exceptional condition, it could be worth as much as $199,000. So, next time you're going through your change, or searching through your coin collection, keep an eye out for the 1990 Washington quarter. You never know, you might just have a rare gem on your hands. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, happy hunting, and happy collecting.